What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another review. I'm diving back into another craft brew, and it's uncharted territory for me because this is coming from Jupiter, Florida, which I've never even heard of that city in Florida, by the way. This is Tracks with Phantasm. No clue what that means. I don't know if it's a local reference. Not quite sure. I guess I'm out of the loop. You guys can tell me. I don't know. This was quite a pricey beer, coming in at $6.09 for this. This was canned on 5/17/23, and this is clocking in at 8.5%, guys. And as we've gone with the normal, typical beer styles, it is yet another double India Pale Ale, looking probably hazy. Let's go with that one. So again, Jupiter, Florida, and this is Civil Society Brewing Company. Never have I heard of these guys before. So Michigan distribution, it made its way up here. Like Michigan needed more beer, guys, now we've got an extra category and another new player in town. Don't ask me. I don't know how popular these guys are. So I'm diving in. Let's see what this one's about. Clocking in at 8.5%. My goodness. So actually not as hazy as I thought pouring into the glass. It is a little bit more translucent as I look at it. I can see through it ever so slightly. But as we get that glass poured up, quite hazy. Quite hazy, and I smell juice and things everywhere. I smell juicy, juicy tropical notes. Well, let's dive back in. Sorry, guys, work was calling me, so I had to take that phone call. So I have not done anything with this beer so far. I'm just stepping back into this review. As I said, it was a little bit lighter than I thought when I was pouring it at 8.5%. Sometimes in Michigan, you see that it's just pure, sticky. You can't see through the pour. It's just completely flour. I mean, it's almost like flour when you pour it, guys. A lot of the Michigan beer have pounds and pounds and pounds of hops in them. This one, it didn't look as thick as I poured it, but indeed, it is hazy. So, small little ring sitting on top. Obviously, it's been sitting here for a minute or two. So let's go to an aroma. Wow. Like, crisp, pineapple-y grass is the first thing that comes to mind. Smells very tropical, very fruity, very candied for a moment, but then again, that nice crisp grass back end comes in, slightly piney, but it's not too insane, I guess, on the hoppiness factor. It's just more light and refreshing, and more bright, fruity notes, if you will. Slightly dank as well, like almost a little bit of dank citrus in there. Candied navel orange. It's very stone fruity too. Like I feel like there's like a little bit of peach and apricot in here. It's hugging the stone fruit end of the spectrum. But let's dive in. It's about the taste. Let's see what it is, guys. So it's Tracks with Phantasm. Cheers. Yeah. So 8.5%, guys. It poured lighter and it tastes lighter than 8.5%. The mouth is on the lower medium end of the spectrum. It's just not loaded with like flour and density. It feels like it's light pale ale kind of quality. It feels like it's almost like lager with a little bit of extra hoppiness, but it's not that bitter on the back end. It's not that insanely hopped in general is what I'm telling you for being up in that 8.5% range. So, wow. First sip, it was very nice. And a little bit of graininess too as I sip it. Like that grainy grassiness comes to mind. Again, showcasing that it's somewhat of a lighter beer rather than just being chewy Citra, chewy Simcoe hops. It's got this light factor incorporated into the brewing technique here. Borderline crushable. There's a little bit of like light lemon, a little bit of white grape. There's, again, this crisp, pineapple-y grassiness to this beer. But again, the biggest thing that comes to mind is just slightly tropical and stone fruity, yet it's crushable and crisp at 8.5%. Like, I feel like the drinkability is off the charts with this one, and it makes sense because it's coming from Florida. They typically like drinkable beers. So yes, they can add nice bits of hops to it, but this beer can still be consumed in the heat, which it's like 80-some degrees here in northern Michigan today. And this is a very tasty beer up in this range. It doesn't have like insane complexity. Like you can't go down the line and say like, oh, there's candied grapefruit, which it might have a dash of that, but it's not the complexity with all those layers. It's just more going for refreshing drinkability at the end of the day. Yes, there is some grapefruit. Yes, there is some naveled candy orange. There's that stone fruit, peachy, kind of cantaloupe, apricot aspect, and then there's this kind of like grassy pineapple back end with low bitterness and pininess. Again, slightly grassy, but that grassiness doesn't weigh on you. It's got a kiss of dankness, and it's got this incredible drinkability factor, which I've already said. So guys, this is a very good beer. It's different. It's not like an insanely complex DIPA, but it has the aspects of a DIPA, yet it's more drinkable than most DIPAs. So that's the kind of the key takeaway I'm bringing with you guys. It's very drinkable. Not hot at all on the back end, so it finishes just so lovely. I mean, it's a lovely beer. Moderately acidic, but again, a little bit smooth and buttery at the same time. Very good beer. Very good beer. Again, I think the drinkability is going to get this one in a higher ranking for me. So for those reasons that I've just stated, drinkability-wise, this is a 4.19 out of 5, guys. It's a fantastic beer while being simply refreshing. It's not overly complex. Like, you don't have to overanalyze this beer. It's just a nice, fine, drinkable beer at 8.5%. So it's almost mind-boggling that it's 8.5%. So, boy, I almost had to double check it. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm Dan. Catch you on the next review. Cheers.